I am Rick Cole. I'm the Director of Sports Broadcasting at Jewel, and I've been doing play-by-play for Jewel now. It's my 10th year, so I know most of you, and I can't wait to meet some of you. I know Larry Holly brought some guests. I will go ahead and introduce you to Mark Gohl. He is our head swim coach. Mark, if you'd like to come up, please. I believe in your 5th year, correct? And just got done swimming against the University of Indianapolis this past weekend. Give a round of applause, please, to Mark Gohl.
Thank you, Rick, and thank you for all of you that are in attendance today to support William Jewell College Athletics. As Rick mentioned, the men's and women's swimming teams just competed against the University of Indianapolis this last Saturday. It was supposed to be a Friday-Saturday meet. However, I got a text message from the UIndy head coach around 3:30 on Friday, and he informed me that their bus was in a shop in Boonville. And it took a while for them to get a new bus, and they ended up getting in pretty late. They were able to get a practice in that afternoon, so did both our men and women. And then we actually shared a meal as fellow competitors on Friday night, and it just so happened to be catered by Minsky's right here, and it was phenomenal food, so we were grateful that they were able to help us out with that. During the meet, our team competed very well. We had a couple big wins from freshmen. Maddie Allen from Tempe, Arizona. She was the GLVC swimmer of the week a few weeks back. Also, we had a huge win on the women's side by senior Haley Ramsey in the 200 fly. We actually went 1-2 in that event against them, both seniors. So it was really good to have those seniors kind of come out on top. On Saturday was senior day for our men and women. But anytime you see those senior athletes, when they have that realization that this is the last opportunity, it's really special when they know that this is the last opportunity to compete and represent a team. And I think that Haley right now is doing an exceptional job of that. She was actually nominated within our team as our Cardinal of the week. On the men's side, we had 2 wins. Both of them came from sophomore João Pedro Granado from Brazil. He won the 1500 freestyle and then the 400 free. We're expecting some really big things from him this year, and he's been doing really well in training. So we'll see how that shapes out at our conference meet, which is 20 days from today. Before that, we have a meet this Saturday at KU. KU does not have a men's team, so it'll be a quad meet on the women's side with KU, Morningside, and Tabor. And on the men's side, it'll be a tri-meet between Jewel, Morningside, and Tabor. So we have one more day of racing to get ready for conference, which should go well. The only other thing I'd like to add is we did have a very good training trip down in Florida. The team did a ton of work. It was a lot of quality. They did really well. We actually did a joint practice with UIndy. So if you could imagine being able to have that practice environment with your direct foes looking you right in the eyes. It was really neat to see. Both teams stepped up big time on that day. But I also want to kind of throw in there, when you go on a trip like that, you want to take full advantage of being where you are. And this year, being in southern Florida, our team took the opportunity to go to the Everglades, and we went on airboats. And it was a very memorable experience, at least on my boat, because at one time there was an 8-foot alligator on one side of our airboat, and there was a 9-foot alligator on the other side. And the guide said that they could launch themselves up to half their body length out of the water if they needed. So that kept everybody's hands in the boat. So we made it safely, but it was definitely a memory for all of the swimmers, and they really enjoyed it. So, but thank you very much for your continued support, and good luck to everybody, especially the basketball teams competing today.
Thank you for coming, and thank you for your continued support of Cardinal Athletics. I do want to take a moment, and I think most of you have met, but we do have a new addition to our staff this year, and that's Bart Mistel. And put your hand up there, Bart. But he's been a great addition to our staff, helping out in everything from riding workouts to recruiting to just doing all the little things that need to be done. So he's been a great addition to our staff. Like Rick said, we're in the middle of our indoor season. We've really, up to this point, had one meet in December that we attended, and that was at Central College in Pella, Iowa. Then we sent 2 of our athletes over to Kansas State University to compete in a pentathlon. And then we just got back on Friday from a meet at the University of Missouri. So in those 3 meets, we've had 3 kids that have already made their mark on the national list and qualified. Blake Alexander is a 60-meter hurdler. He's a junior for us. He was the conference champion in the 110 hurdles last year and named the GLVC Athlete of the Meet. He is currently ranked 19th in the nation in the 60 hurdles. On the women's side, Gretchen Mays performing very well at the Missouri Invite. She's currently ranked 13th in the nation in the women's long jump. She broke the school record for us on Friday with a mark of 5.66 meters, which converts to 18 feet 7 inches. So tremendous mark by her. And last but not least is senior Margaret Perko. She's currently ranked 10th in the pentathlon. She set a new school record for us in December at that meet at K-State. She also won that meet. So I feel like we're off to a great start. We've got a lot of young new faces on the men's side. On the women's side, we got a lot of returners. And so each week it's just about putting more practice in, putting more time in, and making that build to the GLVC Championships, which will take place that last weekend in February. I believe it's 27th, 28th, Saturday, Sunday. That event will be hosted by University of Wisconsin Parkside. Great facility up there, great set of coaches. But our next meet will be next Friday at Pittsburgh State University. They've got a brand new facility they opened up, which will host the national indoor meet. So this will give us a chance to take a look at where the national meet will be held and also get an opportunity to train against some great regional competition. So again, I want to thank you for your support of Cardinal Athletics. I know it takes a lot of people doing a lot of little things to make everything go well. So thank you for all your support, and good luck to the basketball teams.
I'm Coach Sleminski, head women's basketball coach, and I wanted to tell Coach Gold and Coach Eisenhower congratulations on the starts of your season and indoor track. One thing I do use swimming, I use you, Mark, with my team, because every now and then my team complains about our hour-and-a-half workouts plus weights, and I'm like, well, we could start working out with the swim team and be here at 5 in the morning and also at 3:30, and that shuts them up pretty quick. So we do talk about swimming there during our practices, Mark, and I have a lot of respect for both track and swimming and their work ethics. A little bit about our team right now, where we are. We are 6-11 and 2-5 in the conference, and again, a lot of times when you're like that, as a coach, you're kind of down and looking for answers. And I'll tell you what, really excited about our team. Still where we are. A couple weeks ago, we played Bellarmine, who's a top 20, and at the time they were undefeated coming in. And actually played a great game. Led part of the game, had it tied. Actually ended up losing by 3 points to them. We were at that time the number 1 team in the conference free throw shooting, and that game we were 16 for 27. And I didn't know really how our players would bounce back with that, because on Saturday we played Southern Indiana, and Southern Indiana at that time was 10-1, and tied for first place on that side of the conference, and came in. Actually, we bounced back well, and they were on an 8-game winning streak, and we beat them at our place. So it was a great confidence booster. And as a coach, I thought maybe we were going to turn the corner and kind of go after it. And we went to this past weekend. We went to McKendree and Illinois Springfield and struggled. And defensively, we're playing well. We held McKendree to 43 points for the entire game and ended up losing in overtime. We got out to a great start at 20-8 and scored 27 points the rest of the way, plus with the overtime. And then went and played Illinois Springfield and again struggled shooting. Defensively, we're playing pretty well. Shows how much I know. At the beginning of the season, I would have said that our strength was going to be our shooting and our ability to score, and that's actually been where we've struggled a little bit. And so ended up going and playing both those teams and losing, and quite honestly, they were at the bottom of the conference, right where we are. And one of the things about this conference that kind of shows that is that it's so strong top to bottom. For us to be able to compete with Bellarmine and get a win with Southern Indiana at the top, and then to go on the road and play those two teams that are struggling a little bit and get beat, it's just really, there's not a team that you can go look at and have, go in there expecting to get a win. You're going to have to go battle every time. And one of the things with this team then, we really bounced back and played Rockhurst on Monday. So we played Thursday, Saturday, got beat both of those games, and we were facing a Rockhurst team that beat both those teams by 25 and 30 points. They've beaten 4 of the teams that have beaten us. And so coming into the Rockhurst game, I didn't know how our team would respond, and I'll tell you what, they came out, played really hard, and we ended up getting a win, actually a 20-point win. And they're really a fun group to coach, great group to watch. I know a lot of the fans have come up to me and told me how much they enjoy watching how hard our kids work. And against the Rockhurst game, we had 24 offensive rebounds. We out-rebounded Rockhurst 55-29. And our 2 leading rebounders right now are Maddie Nelson at 5'8". She had 17 boards against Rockhurst, and our 5'6" guard, Logan Antonin. And a lot of young kids playing quite a bit. And I tell everybody this, they're a great group to watch. I really think when we get on a roll and get some confidence and can get some consistency on the offensive side, we're going to be pretty tough, game in and game out. And tonight we play Missouri S&T. Their record is very similar to ours. They play teams very, very well. They're really well coached. They played Lewis, who's number 2 in the nation, to a 10-point game. They were ahead at halftime. So I know tonight's going to be a challenge. And then on Saturday, we host Drury. And Drury is number 16 in the nation. So, you come right back in and have to compete right away. And I know our players hopefully can carry on from Monday and do some good things. So anyway, thank you for all your support.
Thanks, Rick. I know we're battling some noise over there, and but I want to say welcome to everyone and thank you for being here. And my congratulations as well to Coach Gohl and Coach Eisenhower and Coach Slominski. I'll try not to say Coach Kress too many times. There's a small crowd for several reasons. I think there's some interviews going on campus, and a lot of our administrators cannot be here, but I appreciate all of you who are here. I do have a couple of guests here today. I want to start with my wife, Linda. I want to thank her for being here. Our top assistant coach, Jimmy Williams, who's doing a great job, and he made a trip to Arkansas this week and looking at players for next year and years beyond, and we're so fortunate to have him in our program. Also have 2 of our former players here today, and they paid me a lot of money to say really nice things about them. And since we're 0-7, I'm going to talk about them and better days. Lewis Wilson and John Kiley are here today. John, raise your hand back there. John was an all-state player at Park Hill High School. Tried to recruit him. He goes off to Rockhurst University, and we play Rockhurst's first semester of his freshman year, and he's not getting to play a whole lot. And in fact, in the game we're playing, he has not been in the game at all. And we miss a shot with a few seconds to go, goes out of bounds. I think there's maybe 5 seconds left on the clock. And we're just hoping to stop them. The score's tied. We're hoping to take it to overtime. We were on a pretty good run at the time. And in comes John Kiley, and he takes the basketball out of bounds. I'm thinking, John hasn't played the entire game. He throws the ball in. They throw it back to him, and I think it was 1 step across the center line, lets her fly, swish, buzzer, swish, we lose. His next game was playing for William Jewell College. We gave him a car, an apartment, some money under the table, and bought him away. He only played 3 years in our program, but he's on lots of our career lists in terms of three-point shooting and free throw shooting and minutes played. He's on our career scoring list. Phenomenal player. During his 3 years here, the teams were 84-13. Kind of wish for those days again, and that will happen. Lewis Wilson is from the great state of Alaska. Was an all-stater up there, played on 2 state championship teams, went to Trenton Junior College, which is now North Central, and came to William Jewell and was a key player for us. He's not on all, and I kept looking at the record book, and I kept seeing John Kiley's name. I couldn't find Lewis's name in the record book. on individual stuff. But I will point out something that he pointed out to me yesterday. He was here yesterday. I had him speak to our team. He's now an assistant coach at Utah State University, the Aggies. And he's in town because he went to a game at State Fair Community College last night to watch a junior college game. And he stopped by practice, talked to our team. But he reminded me that we had a game his junior year when we played Eckerd of Florida. And we go in there on a pretty good run, and we think we're pretty good. And we fly into that was in St. Petersburg, I believe, is where Eckerd is. And we fly in there, and we're flying high, and we play the first half, and we're down 25 points at the half. And so I wrote some things on the board that I won't say in mixed company. I said a few things I probably shouldn't say in mixed company. But anyway, I was trying to get their attention that we couldn't possibly play any worse than we just had in that first half. Boy, was I wrong. We go out, and all of a sudden, with 11 minutes to play in the game, we're behind 68-36. Now, remember that. We're down 32 points with 11 minutes to play. And I was reminded by Coach Wilson that at that time, I put Coach Wilson in at point guard. I hadn't played him the whole game. We won the game 88-84. Let me repeat that. We were behind 32 points with 11 minutes to play against a really good Division II team, and we won the game 88-84. I had completely forgotten that I had put Lewis in the game, and but Lewis did come off the bench, and he was the point guard, and we won that game by 4. The greatest comeback in the history of college basketball. What was it, about a week later, Kentucky came back on LSU in the second half by 30, and they kept saying that's the greatest comeback in the history of college basketball. Lou led us, okay? Now, I've been a little worried about Lewis's resume because Lewis has been a Division I assistant coach at University of Southern Utah, at Idaho State, at University of California at Northridge, and for the last 4 years, head coach at Adams State, now at Utah State. So I go online every once in a while and I check his resume. And Lewis was a good guard for us, but he was playing behind some really good players, and he played some key moments, and he did do that at Eckerd. That's the truth. But I read his resume, and he said that he led William Jewell to a 34-2 record in 1988 in his resume. And when I read that, you remember the guy at Notre Dame that got fired because he didn't tell all the truth on his resume, took the Notre Dame football job, and all of a sudden they fire him because they checked his background? Well, so I called Lewis on it, and he said, Coach, we won 34 games. We played in a tournament in the Bahamas their senior year. They both graduated in 88. Best teams, most talented team I ever had here was 1987. They were on that team. The best team I've ever coached was 88. They were on that team, and they're in the Hall of Fame, 32-2. But Lewis, I said, you said in your resume that you led us to a 34-2 record. You didn't start a game well, he did start a couple of games. And we didn't win 34 games. He says, Coach, we won 34 games. You took 2 of them away from us. Truth of the matter is, we played in a tournament in the Bahamas. We played Seneca College out of Canada. I was told it was a 4-year school. Found out later it was a junior college. And in the championship game, which we won, we beat the Bahamian national team, and we couldn't count that one. So we did win 34 games, but we can't count those 2. Then I said, well, Lewis, you said you led us to a 34-2 record. He said, Coach, I led us out of the locker room every game. Every game. I was the first guy out of the locker room. I led us on the floor. These are 2 of my very favorite people in the world. John lives here with his family in Liberty. He has a daughter who just finished an All-America career at Oklahoma State University in soccer. She was a key member of Liberty High School, winning how many state titles? 2 state titles. And a great friend, a personal friend. And these are 2 special young men in our program. And obviously my wife and Jimmy. Please give it up for these guys for coming back and being here today. We are currently 5-10 on the year. We're 0-7 in the league. I did an interview with Rick yesterday for this game, and he asked if I'd ever gone through something like this. In my second year at Central Methodist, back in the 1800s, we started out 0-9. So I have been here. I've been through it. It's not a lot of fun. But I will tell you, our young men are working hard. We're banged up. We haven't, I don't think we've won a game since Javier de la Blanca got hurt. But you've got to be next man up. And are we playing on a good lead? You bet we are. And if we had good moments, certainly we have. We have two players that are very high in the GLVC list in scoring and rebounding. And I want to mention Darius Tomlin. Darius is a 5'10 guard out of Jackson, Tennessee. Played his freshman year at Mississippi Valley State, a Division I program, and his sophomore year at Southwest Community College in Memphis. One of the best athletes that we've ever had in our program, and doing really a great job. And he's struggling with that 0-7 record because he wants to do well, and I'm really proud of what he has done. And Austin Regier has a high motor. He's one of the hardest working players that I've ever coached. And he's I think overall still the number one rebounder in our league. I think he's third actually in conference games only. So really proud of those two for their leadership. Proud of what our guys are continuing to do every day in practice. They're upbeat, working hard. Coach Williams leads a lot of our practices in terms of the drills and the skills. And they're upbeat and they're ready for tonight. We're playing a team in Missouri S&T, which has been at the bottom of our league. They won their first 3 conference games, but now they've lost 4 in a row. I just talked to their coach before I came here today, and he said when they beat Drury, it was the first time maybe he's ever beaten Drury, first time they've beaten them since we've been in the league, they thought they'd won the national title, and they have really struggled since. And I hope they struggle at least one more game. But they're a good team, and we need to step up and play well. I do want to mention Daryl Gorley. Most of you know Coach Gorley. Maybe you don't know, but he fell at the game coming into the game and attended the games Monday night against Rockhurst. And then when he got home, he was in some pain, went to the hospital. He has 2 broken ribs. Coach is pretty close to 90, I think. And he was my cross-country and track coach, and he's at a lot of our home events. One of the colleges, at the college meet, or the high school meet that's a Daryl Gorley Relays. The college meet is named in his honor. He's in the William Jewell Hall of Fame. He's a Hall of Famer at Truman State, outstanding football player and track athlete, one of my dear friends, and was a pleasure running cross country and track and field for Coach Gorley. So please keep him in your thoughts and prayers. He's on some painkillers, and he's struggling right now with a lot of pain with those broken ribs. So keep him and Vonda, please, in your thoughts and prayers. My wife wants me to make one more plea for purchasing these calendars. All of you in the room are required to give her $10 before you leave today and get one of these calendars. She's ready to sell them to you right back there. That we have this as one of our fundraisers for our program. Well, I've spoken for a long time. I don't know if anyone has any questions. I'm proud to be the coach at William Jewell, proud to have played at William Jewell, and really proud of all the coaches that are doing a great job every day to benefit the student athletes at William Jewell College. Thank you very much.
Thank you again for coming. We appreciate it. The next Cardinal Sports Lunch, I believe, is February 21st. And so keep up to date with that and all the other Cardinal events and news on our website, which, by the way, Paul Worstel does a great job as our sports information director. So thank you again for coming, and we'll see you next month.